library. I was a student at this school, and one of my favorite parts of the school year was the Scholastic Book Fair. I have a confession to make, something I haven't told anyone before. I'm a book lover. I love all kinds of books about animals, mysteries, adventure, sports, dogs, poetry, everything. Each year, I come back to school to check out all the new books at the book fair. We have to be quiet. Come on. I thought you and I could take a sneak peek at all the cool books that will be at the book fair this year. Through the magic of reading, books can take us anywhere. Let's see where we're going today. Oh, the title of this book is The Stray Dog. This is a terrific book, but let's just say, the last time I opened up The Stray Dog, you may want to hold your ears.
Have you ever found a stray dog? Well, that's exactly what happened to this family one day on a picnic. "What's this?" asked the father. "It's a scruffy little dog," said the mother. "He looks hungry," said the girl. "I think he wants to play," said the boy. The children played with him and taught him to sit up. They named him Willie. They kept playing until it was time to go. The young boy and girl had so much fun playing with the puppy that afternoon, and after they went home, the family just couldn't get the playful little pooch out of their minds. As luck would have it, the next weekend when the family went picnicking, he was there again. But this time, a mean dog catcher was hot on the pup's trail. What happens next in this canine caper, you ask? Pick up a copy of the 2002 Caldecott Honor Book, The Stray Dog, written and illustrated by Marc Simont.
Wow, huh? I guess you're starting to notice just about anything can happen when you open up a book. Whoa! I better be more careful about these boxes. In fact, I wonder if I should open this next box at all.
What happens when the alarm sounds at a firehouse? Ring! Everyone stops. Now they move fast. They pull on their rubber boots and put on their pants and their jackets. Don't forget your helmets. Join Dot and the gang as they suit up, drive the truck, and put out the fire. You might want to share this book with your family, because at the end there are even some fire safety tips. So don't miss Dot the Fire Dog. It is one hot book.
Speaking of water, to create a lot of these books, it actually takes water. No, it's true. Let me introduce you to an artist. His name is David Catrow. He's an illustrator. He created Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon.
My pictures have animals in them or some something that's alive in them. When I was a kid and I thought about books, I didn't imagine that someone actually made them. But human beings really make them. And they start out as words on a page.
The pictures David Catrow creates help tell the story of young Molly Lou Melon, a very, very tiny girl. But thanks to her grandmother's confidence in her, Molly Lou learned to stand tall, sing out, believe in herself, and even stand up to schoolyard bullies like Ronald Durkin. Gee, I think this must be Molly Lou's chair. Did you know David Catrow also loves to draw dogs? Check this out. On the back cover of Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon, this is Bubs, David's pooch. And on the cover of this book, called We the Kids, same dog. You guessed it. David Catrow also illustrated We the Kids. Let me read part of what he wrote at the beginning of the book. The first time I was forced to think about the Constitution was in the 5th grade. President's Day was coming up, and my teacher, Mrs. Baldwin, wanted to talk about big ideas. Stuff like freedom, liberty, founding fathers, presidents. This book is about America and how kids and all the people live happily together.
I like to throw in some aside things that kind of make it more personal to me and also get people to laugh a little bit.
I love surprises, like the ones in David's book. But what I really like is, ta-da! Super dogs with superpowers. And I bet you're gonna like this one too. It's called McGrowl.
Thomas Wiggins is in desperate need of a dog. It's the only thing he ever really, truly wanted. And when he finds McGrowl, he knows it's just the right dog for him. McGrowl must feel the same way about Thomas because he saves his life by pushing him away from a speeding car, causing McGrowl to get hit and almost killed. A very strange doctor is able to fix McGrowl as good as new. No, better than new. No, incredibly, stupendously, outrageously better than new. In fact, the doctor has created a super dog with supernatural speed and power. What secret, evil plans could the sinister doctor have in store for Thomas and his super pooch? To find out, grab a copy of McGrowl, Beware of Dog by Bob Balaban at your Scholastic Book Fair.
Cool story, huh? No, shh, it's okay, it's okay. Okay, here you go, here you go. Whoa. Whew. Do you know what you get if you take a few dozen cut-up magazines, add some glue, a few photos, and some newspaper clippings? You get a book. I bet you didn't guess that. Brian Collier is an illustrator from New York City. He creates pictures for books, but he does things just a little differently.
I saved old magazines and I cut out patterns and things like that that I use. And it's a process of cutting and then painting and then repainting.
Brian created the illustrations, or pictures, that you see in this book called Martin's Big Words. The picture is formed using a technique called collage. Brian visited the Hart Magnet School in Stamford, Connecticut to talk about Martin's big words.
He used the big words he had heard as a child from his parents and from the Bible. He said everyone can be great. I know, is that true? Can't everybody be great?
Brian worked with the students using photographs and patterns from a book of wallpaper samples.
You should just sit down with your supplies and just have fun and not worry about what it's going to look like at the end, because eventually what you'll begin to do is gain confidence in your own inner voice.
It took Brian over a week to create each page of Martin's big words. And when he first finishes, his artwork is much, much bigger than the page of a book. So photographs of the artwork are taken and sent to the publisher, where it is shrunk to the correct size. You can get a closer look at Brian's awesome collage artwork by reading 2002 Caldecott Honor and Coretta Scott King Honor book, Martin's Big Words. See if you can find all the different paint, patterns, and pieces of paper that Brian used for the pictures. The book can be found at the Scholastic Book Fair at your school.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I'm in.
I'm in who?
I'm in first grade.
And guess who has finally made it to the first grade? Junie B. Jones.
That's right. With high hopes, our peppy, perky friend has left kindergarten behind, only to find out that her best friend Lucille has found other best friends, and that her new teacher, Mr. Scary, is nothing like her last one. But worst of all, Junie B has to get glasses. Will the other kids in room 1 laugh at her? Will she ever make new friends? You can bet Junie B and her purple spectacles will fit right in. Don't miss this latest super hit by author Barbara Park, Junie B. Jones first grader, at your school's Scholastic Book Fair.
How do I look? Like Junie B? She has so many crazy adventures, she could probably be good friends with someone like, I don't know, maybe Judy Moody. Do you know Judy? Well, just like you and me, she has good moods and bad moods, happy and sad moods. But how did Judy get so moody? Well, we asked the book's author, Megan McDonald.
Peter is the illustrator, and when he first came up with Judy Moody, He had to go by clues that I gave in the text. For example, Judy has messy hair, or she's in a bad mood and doesn't like to get out of bed. He has this little squiggle in her hair, and it's kind of her trademark, and the squiggle changes as her mood changes throughout the book.
In Miss McDonald's latest book, Judy is in the mood to save the world. But can just one girl save the world? Judy thinks so.
One of the things Judy does in this book is she tries to get her family to recycle because they're always throwing stuff in the trash. So it says, time for Plan B, Project Recycle. She got out her notebook and looked in the trash can. She wrote down 1 orange juice can, 1 inside of a peanut butter jar lid, 1 plastic bread bag, 4 broken eggshells, smelly, yucky, wet coffee grounds, 3 paper muffin holders, 2 smushed Scarlet O'Cherry juice boxes, and a half bowl of oatmeal.
Then there's Judy's brother. Do you have a little brother or sister? Well, Judy's brother is a full-fledged 100% pest. She calls him Stink. I bet you're in the mood to read Judy Moody Saves the World. You'll find it at your Scholastic Book Fair. Take me out of the bathtub, take me out of the suds. Oh, hi there. Sometimes I get a little carried away, and it's easy to get crazy when I'm reading and singing Take Me Out of the Bathtub and other silly-dilly songs. These silly-dilly words were written by a man named Alan Katz, but a good friend of ours, a man you already know, created the pictures for this book, David Catrow. David says if you like to draw, he'd definitely recommend being an illustrator when you grow up, because you get to do really fun things like draw poopy diapers and furious poodles.
If somebody were to ask me, how do I become an artist, I would say find a reason, find an excuse every day to sit down with a pencil and some paper, even if it's drawing on the back of a shopping bag with a piece of charcoal from the barbecue. Find something to draw and just draw every day.
Being an illustrator sounds like a lot of fun. This class decided they'd have fun with David trying out one of the songs from the Take Me Out of the Bathtub book. Sing along if you'd like.
Take me out of the bathtub, take me out of the suds.
How about this one? Stinky, stinky diaper change. Ew. Or sock in the gravy, I'm filthy, I'm dirty, or even I'm so car sick. Plus, there's tons more ooey gooey, gross and silly, funny gummy songs and pictures. So quick, get to the Scholastic Book Fair and pick up a copy of Take Me Out of the Bathtub and other silly dilly songs, so you too can sing yourself silly.
I use 1, 2, 3 bars of soap. Take me out. I'm clean.
I sure hope I see you again, maybe at the Scholastic Book Fair at your school.
Look around, there's a place in your town, in your school, down the hall, it's for one and all. Looking here, over there, ask a pal, find out how to get to your Scholastic Book Fair. Look around, there's a place in your town, in your school, down the hall, it's for one and all. Looking here, over there, ask a pal, find out how to get to your Scholastic Book Fair.
Over the next few minutes, we're going on a journey. There'll be action, adventure, friendship, romance. There'll be writing, creating, imagining. And you'll meet George Lucas, Jude Watson, Anthony Horowitz, Joseph Bruchac, and perhaps Lemony Snicket. So buckle up as Scholastic Book Fairs takes you reading across the galaxy. We begin along the Puget Sound, just north of Tacoma, Washington. Author Jude Watson is working on her latest book for Scholastic in the Star Wars Jedi Quest series.
These adventures of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker are set between Episode 1 and Episode 2 of the Star Wars saga.
Everything is explained in the book, exactly who these people are and where they're going and what the galaxy is like and what the Jedi Temple is all about and what being a Jedi is about.
And this is where Miss Watson makes it all happen, in a tiny little attic writing room with only a computer, some resource books, and a lot of imagination.
I sit there and eat pretzels and jot down ideas, and I don't know how I do it. It's such a great big galaxy that George Lucas has created that there's so much room for a writer to invent.
In another writing room, less than 2 hours away, sits George Lucas, creator, writer, and director of the Star Wars saga. When George Lucas first began writing his outlines and eventually scripts for Star Wars, he wanted to do things no one had ever done before. But he knew it all had to start with an exceptional story.
I had to sort of figure out who everybody was, where they came from, how they got to be where they were, and what the dynamic relationships were between everybody. There is drama inherent in it because there is a lot of betrayal, a lot of things like that going on.
His writing room is where he spent hours researching, outlining, writing, and rewriting.
Starts with me sitting here doodling in my little binder, but it ends up with a couple thousand people working together in a very, very intense, emotional, creative way to pull it off. I mean, it's all over here. It's just a dream. It's just a kind of a thing that I can sit here and do and say, wouldn't it be great if? And then pounding that into reality takes a huge amount of effort.
While his movies and characters are immensely popular and his filmmaking techniques honored throughout the world, Star Wars books have also become universal hits, and Jude Watson has an idea why.
What I look to include in the books is a combination of the everyday experiences that a boy would have between the ages of, about 11 and 12 to 18, yet he's in these extraordinary circumstances. What we want to do is do one for every year that Anakin is a Padawan between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
Are you hungry for another book? Check out this 2002 Newbery Honor book, Everything on a Waffle by Polly Horvath. Everyone in the strange little town of Cole Harbor believes her parents have died at sea. Everyone, that is, except Primrose Squarp. But now that she is an orphan, she has to deal with adults who try to help, but don't always get it quite right. Her sitter doesn't really like children and smells like mothballs. Her uncle is busy cooking up schemes to get rich. Laugh through life with the ever-optimistic Primrose as she waits for her parents' unlikely return. Everything on a Waffle by Polly Horvath. This book, McGrowl, written by Bob Balaban, is about a boy, Thomas Wiggins, who is in desperate need of a dog. It's the only thing he ever really, truly wanted, and when he finds McGrowl, he knows it's just the right dog for him. McGrowl must feel the same way about Thomas because he saves his life by pushing him away from a speeding car, causing McGrowl to get hit and almost killed. A very strange doctor is able to fix McGrowl as good as new. No, better than new. No, incredibly, stupendously, outrageously better than new. In fact, the doctor has created a super dog with supernatural speed and power. What secret, evil plans could the sinister doctor have in store for Thomas and his super pooch? To find out, grab a copy of McGrowl, Beware of Dog by Bob Balaban at your Scholastic Book Fair. Mystery, suspense, and crime fighting are all used by author Anthony Horowitz in his series of books. New York City, the scene of the latest casualty in a string of mysterious deaths of wealthy and powerful men. MI6, England's version of the CIA, has determined only one link in these homicides. All the victims' sons attend the same private boarding school. Point blank. Just who can infiltrate a school for the super rich? None other than 14-year-old spy Alex Rider.
Well, Point Blank is Alex Rider's second adventure.
and it takes him this time to a peculiar school somewhere in the Swiss Alps, run by a very unpleasant headmaster called Dr. Grief, and his even more unpleasant assistant, Mrs. Stellenbosch, the world's ugliest teacher.
Author Anthony Horowitz traveled to Clunin Middle School from his home in England.
How do you think of your characters for your stories?
Some of them are people I meet. If people are mean to me, they normally end up as a villain in one of my books. A lot of my teachers, when I was a kid, have been villains in my books. The headmaster and his wife at my school have both turned up a couple of times. That's one of the nice things about being a writer, is getting your own back at people who've upset you.
It was while he was at school that the idea of a child spy was conceived.
What would it be like to be a spy aged 14 years old? Or to put it another way, can we imagine James Bond aged 14? And that was really the first inspiration for Alex Rider. Alex saw the van. He saw the machine gun aimed at him. He couldn't stop. It was too late to change direction. He had come this far, but now he was finished. He felt the strength draining out of him. Where was MI6? Why did he have to die out here on his own?
Anthony aspired to be a writer from a very young age, and he encourages other young writers to realize their dreams as well.
To kids who want to write, it's the most wonderful career you can have in the whole world, because it opens so many different doors into theatres, into the world of television, into books, into people's lives. That's a great thing. I think there's something very, very special in a book, in the relationship between the reader and the writer. And they're the things that I'm the most proud of.
Point Blank, sequel to Stormbreaker by Anthony Horowitz. Now imagine being a very artistic young girl, but one who was handicapped. When her well-respected parents were still alive, she was protected, but now they are gone. However, because of her unique skill, Kira is allowed to live. She is moved to the palace, where she is given the task of restoring a sacred robe that contains the pictorial history of her world. Surrounded by mysteries and secrets, Kira must uncover the truth about her world if she hopes to change the future. Pick up a copy of Gathering Blue by Lois Lowry. Take a step into ancient 12th century Korea, where an orphan boy and his guardian live in the shadow of a bridge. They are humble yet proud, for although they are poor, their lives are full. When the young boy accidentally breaks a piece of pottery by the village's greatest craftsman, he must pay a debt of 9 days' work. He uses the opportunity to his advantage and perseveres to learn the craft. One day, he is entrusted with the important task of delivering 2 masterpieces across miles of unknown territory to the royal court. Pitfalls and robbers cross his path, and although failure is imminent, his determination never falters in this inspiring Newbery Medal-winning novel by Linda Sue Park. Don't miss Single Shard.
One of my favorites was the one about the skeleton monster. He was just a human being at first, a lazy, greedy uncle who hung around the longhouse and let everyone else...
Have you ever realized that some of the books in your Scholastic Book Fair are actually stories that have been told for hundreds of years? It's true. In this, Skeleton Man, the author, Joseph Bruchac, tells a spine-tingling thriller that actually started as Native American folklore.
That's one of the things about tradition. Tradition survives because it's useful. Not because it's pretty or quaint, but because it really touches people's lives. Lazy uncle burned his fingers really badly in the fire and stuck it into his mouth to cool it. "Ooh," he said as he sucked the cooked flesh. "This tastes good." Isn't that gross? It kept on until he had cooked his whole body and eaten it, and all that was left was a skeleton.
Molly's parents disappear, and when a mysterious man shows up claiming to be her uncle, she believes he could be Skeleton Man. Her parents are gone. The police won't listen. Even her teachers won't listen to her tales of being locked inside the bedroom each night by this man with fingers like talons and eyes like blue flames. Yet Molly never loses her courage. The suspense builds to the bursting point in this fast-paced mystery. Joseph Bruchac says his talent for writing comes from a talent for listening. Listening, apparently, to some very, very scary tales.
We all were given by the Creator 2 ears, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. And that's proof that we need to listen twice as much as we talk and look twice as much as we speak. Therefore, if you want to be a writer, listen to what people are saying, listen to the world around you in general. Use your eyes to carefully see things, and also use your eyes, very importantly, use your eyes to read. Read, 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 and then read some more. If you want to be a writer, you have to love reading.
For Artemis Fowl, the Arctic Incident, we head off to Ireland, where the 13-year-old criminal mastermind Artemis Fowl is at it again. In this second book of the enormously popular series, we find Artemis in an Irish boarding school, where he receives an urgent video email from Russia, a plea from a man kidnapped by the Russian mafia, a plea from Artemis's father. Rushing to his rescue, Artemis crosses paths with a familiar adversary, Captain Holly Short of the Leprechaun Ferry Police. Artemis and Holly Short must always be on their toes. After all, they never know who or what could be lurking around the next corner. And you should be on guard as well, because you never know when there may be a famous author in your midst. Take this group of kids in Northern California. They were told that the famous author Lemony Snicket, writer of these books called A Series of Unfortunate Events, could not make it to their school. But in his place was just an ordinary visitor, a man named Daniel Handler.
Mr. Snicket could not be here, and so I am here in his place. I will sing a song about Count Olaf. A song that is terrible, but not as terrible as reading Mr. Snicket's books. The first part of the song is called Vamping, and that simply means you play the same thing over and over and over. And it's a wonderful way to drive people crazy. The goal of Count Olaf is getting control of the fortunes of urchins and orphans. Hooray! I mean horrors! Count Olaf is no laughing matter. When you see Count Olaf count to 0, then scream and run away. Scream, scream, scream and run away. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, is this man really Daniel Handler? Or could he be Lemony Snicket? One boy in the group thought that just maybe Daniel was the real author, and Lemony Snicket was his pen name. A pen name being a made-up name used by a person so that their real name is not used on the book, hiding their true identity.
Why isn't Lemony Snicket your pen name? And why wouldn't Lemony
my
Snicket
pen
be wheeled in from
has a name. It's right here. Its name is Junie.
Daniel also offered up some advice to aspiring young writers. Listen closely, you may need this information someday.
Well, if you'd like to be an author, the best thing to do would be to carry a notebook around as often as you can and a good pen, so that whenever you're eavesdropping on people or following people or taking notes on people's behavior, that you'll always have adequate materials. And then the other thing is that you should always make sure that you're someplace where when you're caught eavesdropping or taking notes on people, that you can get away as quickly as possible. So, for instance, here I'm on the stairs where I could go behind me and escape safely, I could go in front of me and escape safely, or if I had to, I could climb over this and escape safely into the vast wilderness that is here. So those are the two rules. Appropriate materials and have an escape plan are probably the two most important things about being an author.
Don't walk, run to the Scholastic Book Fair in your school. That is, of course, if you can handle it.
Look for a selection of the Series of Unfortunate Events books at your Scholastic Book Fair.
You have a lot of sad, horrible, unfortunate reading to do. Our journey has ended for today, but you can always find lots of action, adventure, romance, and more waiting for you at the Scholastic Book Fair. It's out of this world.
Order, Capcom. We have a book fair.
Greetings, chair people. The purpose of this video is to provide easy step-by-step instructions on how to merchandise and set up your book fair. Creating the enchantment of books is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Here comes the truck now. Your fair is delivered in portable bookcases with extra boxes on top that contain special merchandise. The Scholastic driver knows exactly where your fair is by following the book fair arrows hanging throughout the hallways. Some of the books you will receive are highlighted in the hallway posters. These posters generate early excitement for the upcoming book fair. Step 1. Place bookcases. Place the bookcases in a semicircle along the walls. Use as much space as possible. Angle the cases to face the fair entrance. Place the 2 beginning readers' cases first. These bookcases contain all of the picture books, easy readers, and chapter books. In addition, there are special shelves for some of the most popular series and characters like Magic Treehouse and Scooby-Doo. Next, place your all ages cases, which include a wide selection of titles on a variety of topics like sports, art, humor, reference, and science. One featured title in this case is the Scholastic Book of World Records. After the all ages cases, place the intermediate readers cases. Titles on these cases include the newest Harry Potter book in paperback, The Goblet of Fire, as well as Newbery Award-winning titles like A Single Shard by Linda Sue Park. You will also find exciting new books like the latest Artemis Fowl, The Arctic Incident. Step 2. Locate Open Me First box and determine table placement. Inside the Open Me First box are your table signs, plastic table covers, and sign holders. Put the table signs into the holders and place them on each table. Space your tables at least 6 feet apart from each other and the bookcases. At the fair we are setting up today, we need 6 tables. Some schools will need more, some less. Place the cashier table right by the entrance to your fair, but be sure not to block the doors. Next, we have a new bestsellers table placed at the front of your fair. Just behind the bestsellers table is a creativity table with a seasonal table to the right. To excite younger students, we have a Clifford and Friends table placed by the beginning reader's case. Finally, the teaching resources table can go next to the cashier table to promote those books just for teachers. Book fair tip: recruit student helpers as volunteers. Student helpers will be happy to assist. They can move and place the tables, cover them, and set up table signs. Make sure that adequate space is allowed for access to cases and for browsing. Step 3. Sort boxes and place beside tables. The boxes containing display merchandise have a label on top showing where the items need to be placed at the fair. Sort these boxes and place them beside the tables around the fair. Be sure to put out all of the merchandise selected for your fair. The books at a Scholastic book fair are chosen by an expert team of book professionals from publishers around the world. Student volunteers can be very helpful for this part of setup as well, and can sort boxes, set out merchandise on tables, and store empty boxes under tables. Step 4. Create table displays. You can create an exciting display table in about 15 minutes or so. Ask students who like art to help with this step so they can show off their creative flair. Watch how in just 5 easy steps we create a bestseller table for your book fair. Step A. Cover the table with a tablecloth and place empty Scholastic boxes in the center. These boxes will create height on your tables and allow for more space to display merchandise. Step B. Cover empty boxes with tablecloth or fabric and place table stand and sign. Face table signage toward the entrance to your fair. Table signage is very important because it helps your customers locate items. Step C. Group merchandise together by reading level and size. Step D. Build the front of your table toward the main entrance with signs facing the front of your fair. Stack displays and large books in the center of the display table with smaller stacks on each side. Vary colors between light and dark covers. Create a pyramid effect on each side of your table. Now that's a great-looking table. Product is subject to change. We order new books every day and you will receive the latest and greatest. These tables create unique shopping areas showcasing books for specific age groups together. The items with universal appeal are centrally located and tables for beginning readers are near the cases for beginning readers. It's all a proven strategy to make it easier for your customers to find the books that they want and to boost your sales. Step 5. Unpack and place cardboard displays. At this point, there are only a few more boxes left, and they include the special cardboard displays. These displays are super cool. Kids love them, and they sell books. Some displays sit on your display tables like this Clifford display, and some stand on the floor like this Junie B. Jones display. Be sure to place each display next to the correct reading level case. For example, Junie B. Jones next to the beginning reader's case or on an appropriate table. Cardboard displays vary from fair to fair. Have no fear, a great assortment is on its way to your fair. Step 6. Use top of bookcases to showcase titles. To show off the great selection of titles at the book fair, we recommend that you feature books on the top of the bookcases. Use the new cardboard book stands found in the Open Me First box to hold featured titles. This is an excellent project for any student helpers to assist with. They can choose their favorite books and feature them on top of the cases. Step 7. Set up cashier table. The cashier table is one of the most important and popular areas of your book fair. When placing your cashier table, imagine tons of people waiting to pay and visualize where you'd like people to stand while waiting online. If the line blocks the entrance, no one will come in. Place the variety box display and last-minute purchase items such as pens and teachers' pets centrally on your cashier table. These are some of our fastest-selling items and will create add-on sales to help you meet your book fair goals. Schools have increased sales significantly by accepting credit cards and debit cards. Place signage on your cashier table to let your customers know that your book fair accepts credit cards as a form of payment. This is a real convenience for your customers. Many schools find it necessary to have more than one cashier table. Depending on your school enrollment and anticipated attendance, you may want to include several checkout areas. Step 8. Display posters. Hang one of each poster found inside the poster display boxes on the walls at your fair so your customers can see them, and the posters are a great way to decorate your book fair. Number the posters on the wall with post-it notes so that people can request them easily at checkout. Don't forget to place your poster boxes near the cashier table for easy access. Step 9. Set up classroom wish list program. Included in the planning kit are materials to grow classroom libraries by using the classroom wish list program. Parents are encouraged to purchase books from the fair and donate them to the classrooms. This comprehensive kit has everything to make your classroom wish list a complete success. Step A. Arrange a time for teachers to visit the book fair and preview the selection of great books. They can browse, handpick selections, and complete individual book donation cards. Step B. Create a classroom wish list display. By using the materials in the planning kit, you can create a colorful classroom wish list display at the fair to encourage donations. Place the classroom wish list display near the entrance to your fair to ensure that parents can find the classroom wish lists easily. Step C. Explain program to fair volunteers. Be sure to show all of the volunteers at your book fair the classroom wish list program. Be sure to keep the classroom wish list book plates at the cash register area for all gift books donated by students and parents. Step D. Discover the community sponsorship program. Last year, many schools reported great successes and received book donations from community businesses. For more information on our community sponsorship program, check out the Chairperson's Guidebook. Step 10. Use the book fair theme to decorate. Each season, Scholastic Book Fairs launches a new theme that includes a variety of fun decorations and resources found in the Chairperson's Activities and Ideas booklet, as well as reproducibles to download from the book fair's website. For more book fair information, check out our terrific book fair website at www.scholastic.com/bookfairs/chair. Book fair themes appeal to kids and enable them to connect reading and learning with fun and excitement. In just 10 easy steps, we created a great-looking book fair. But just in case your school is not big enough for this particular layout, here is another option for you to consider, where your cases are arranged back to back. You can also combine 2 table displays into one and place your cashier table in the hallway to maximize your space. Packing up your book fair. One last tip. Place the boxes that the books arrived in under your display tables. Once the fair is over, recruit student and parent volunteers to assist with the process of packing up the book fair. Simply place the books back into the boxes they arrived in. Each box will have a label to ease this process. We really appreciate your efforts with packing up the fair. Finally, we have learned over the years that the larger the space, the more successful the fair, so consider hosting your book fair in the school gymnasium or auditorium. In this school gymnasium, it's possible to maximize your book displays and host more people. Plus, the space really adds to the overall excitement of the fair. Together, we created a great-looking book fair. Thank you for sharing your love of reading and books with the students at your school. Your efforts will help children become lifelong learners and find books that they not only want to read, but own. Best wishes for a wonderful book fair experience.